When people saw Gary Carter on the field, they thought of him as charming, heroic, and indestructible. But little did they know, a ruthless enemy called cancer was soon about to take away this champion from us. This is the story of Gary Carter's fight with cancer. Let's get into it. Gary Edmund Carter was born on April 8, 1954, in Culver City, California, near Los Angeles. He was the younger of two sons born to James H. Carter and Inge Carter. After World War II, Jim Carter, who was a mechanically minded man from Kentucky, moved to California and took on technical jobs in Hollywood. By the time Gary was born, Jim was working as an aviation parts inspector for Hughes Aircraft Company, a significant employer in Southern California's aerospace industry. So you can bet he was rolling in that dough. Inge Charlotte Keller, born in Chicago in 1929, was the daughter of German immigrants who came to the U.S. in the 1920s. Gary often credited his athletic ability to his mother, who was a champion swimmer. But even though he got those good genes, he once humorously admitted, "Funnily enough, I'm a terrible swimmer." Ironic, am I right? Gary's own sports journey began with Little League Baseball at age 6, but he was also equally passionate about and talented in football. In 1961, the NFL held the first punt, pass, and kick contest, and 7-year-old Gary became the national champion in his age group at the Los Angeles Coliseum. How adorable. He was a finalist again 2 years later, though he lost in the frigid conditions of Chicago. When Gary Carter was just 12, he faced a heartbreaking loss when his mother passed away at 37 after battling leukemia. This tragedy, as you can imagine, left a deep impact on him, and it heavily influenced his later charitable efforts as he worked tirelessly to raise funds for leukemia research and support children with other illnesses. Sadly, he suffered a similar fate. His health and strength, which was something he took great pride in, slowly slipped out of his hands as the terrible disease took hold of his life. But that's not to say that Gary Carter wasn't courageous until the very end. Gary's long fight with cancer faced a serious setback towards the middle. According to the New York Daily News, doctors at Duke University found new, life-threatening tumors in his brain. It got to a stage where his doctors started considering whether to continue treatment due to his worsening condition. Gary's health declined rapidly in a matter of weeks. On Christmas Day, he fell and tore his rotator cuff after experiencing headaches and balance issues. His condition had deteriorated so much that he couldn't even attend his own charity golf tournament. In a phone interview, he shared his frustration with the lack of progress in his recovery. "I'm not feeling too good," he told the news. "It's been getting worse and worse. I've had a chest cold, sores in my mouth, blood clots. I get sick. There are just so many things. It's been 9 months now, and I don't feel any different from day one. I haven't felt up to doing any interviews." Gary Carter was diagnosed with glioblastoma, a fast-moving and aggressive brain cancer. His treatment involved radiation and chemotherapy, but not surgery, according to a statement from the Preston Robert Tisch Brain Cancer Center at Duke University Medical Center, where his cancer biopsies were tested. Dr. Henry S. Friedman and Dr. Alan Friedman, co-deputy directors of the Tisch Center, said that surgery isn't an option because of where the tumor is located. They mentioned that Carter would go back home to Florida to start the next phase of his treatment, and his age, which was 57 at the time, along with his strong physical condition and fighting spirit, would be beneficial as he begins treatment. They had hope. According to an online journal kept by his daughter, Kimmy Carter Blomers, Carter began experiencing confusion with daily tasks. Apparently, he started forgetting things, repeating questions, and feeling tired all the time. Clearly, he was living a very sad life. In a journal entry, his daughter described her father's cancer as resembling a snake of tumors connected across the back of the brain. She noted that Dr. Henry Friedman, who was treating her father, told the family he was 99% certain it was glioblastoma. Carter had been undergoing chemotherapy and radiation, but in mid-January, his daughter Kimmy Blomers shared that new tumors had been discovered. She later announced his passing on the family journal at caringbridge.org. In New York, WFAN's website posted part of a statement from Carter's family. His daughter wrote, "I am deeply saddened to tell you all that my precious dad went to be with Jesus today at 4:10 p.m. This is the most difficult thing I have ever had to write in my entire life, but I wanted you all to know. It's always a heartbreaking moment when you lose a family member to cancer. When Gary lost his mother, things weren't so different. At the time, Gary's father stepped up to fill both parental roles, making significant sacrifices for his sons. Alongside his job in McDonnell Douglas, another aerospace and defense company, he coached Gary at various levels of youth baseball and supported him in all his sporting endeavors. Gary's older brother Gordy also served as a mentor and role model. That's when it all began, in those early days of youth under the incredible direction and support of his family. Gary followed Gordy to Sunny Hills High School in Fullerton, California, where the family had moved when he was 5. There, he excelled as a three-sport star, becoming captain of the football, basketball, and baseball teams. He was also a member of the National Honor Society, a real hard-working guy from the start. In football, he was a high school All-American quarterback and received nearly 100 scholarship offers, eventually signing a letter of intent with UCLA. Had he played for the Bruins, he would have competed with or backed up Mark Harmon, who later became a well-known actor. Unfortunately, during his senior year, Gary tore his knee ligaments and had to sit out the football season. Popular sports surgeon Dr. Robert Kurlan warned him that one more bad hit and that would be the end of his entire athletic career. Naturally, this scared him to death, and so he made the decision to play professional baseball. And boy, was it the right choice. The Expos picked him in the 3rd round of the 1972 draft. At Sunny Hills High School, he played shortstop, third base, and pitcher, with only 6 games as a catcher. But scouts Bob Zook, Bobby Maddock, and farm director Mel Didier thought he would be a great catcher because he was strong and sturdy, nearly 6 times 2 inches and 205 pounds. Zook played the other directors and pretended he wasn't very interested in Carter, only to snatch him from under their noses. That's how the Expos drafted him earlier than the other teams expected, and the rest is history. In 1973, when Carter was 19, he got the nickname The Kid during spring training with the Expos. "I tried to impress everyone that spring," Carter said. "I was the first in line for sprints and always ran hard to first base." The nickname and his energetic playing style stuck with him throughout his 19-year career. Carter played in 11 All-Star games, won 3 Gold Gloves, and received 5 Silver Slugger awards. He was named the MVP of the All-Star Game twice in 1981 and 1984, and holds the National League record for most games caught. Throughout his 19-year career, which also included time with the Mets, Giants, and Dodgers, Carter got 2,092 hits, 324 home runs, and 1,225 RBIs. He played a big role in the Mets' 1986 World Series win, driving in 9 runs during the series. The Expos retired his number 8 jersey in 1993, and he was inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 2003, becoming the first player to wear an Expos cap on their plaque. Carter's excitement and talent made him a favorite among fans in both Montreal and New York. With his curly hair and big smile, you can tell why he was loved by many. So much so that Pierre Elliott Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada at the time, once said, "I am certainly happy that I don't have to run for election against Gary Carter." Carter thrilled Shea Stadium fans in his first game as a Met. During the 1985 season opener against the St. Louis Cardinals, he slid into second base with a double to left center field, jumping up and pumping his right fist. Then in the 10th inning, he hit a game-winning homer over the left field fence and pumped his arm repeatedly as he rounded the bases, the crowd roaring with excitement. His teammates mobbed him at home plate, and when the fans chanted for a curtain call, he came out of the dugout waving both arms. What a sight. Carter's energy was just as contagious behind the plate. Whenever he tagged a runner out at home, he'd hold the ball up high with a big smile. He might have even led the 1986 Mets in giving hugs to teammates. Carter spent his first 11 seasons with the Expos, becoming the face of the franchise. In recent years, he had been coaching Palm Beach Atlantic University's baseball team. Despite his illness, he managed to visit the team before their season opener. That was how committed he was to the sport, and it showed.